Well, welcome to Purple Cloud Studios. Yes, I went ahead and went all out for my graphics for this show this week. Ooh, Purple Cloud Studios. Yes, yes, yes. So here we are. Welcome. As you can see, I've had a very, very busy day. I wanted to prepare a few things so that you guys can watch me ink and talk and complain and whine and moan and all that good stuff. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but this week we are drawing / inking to Anthony Hamilton. If you do not know, hi Alex. If you do not know who Anthony Hamilton is, I suggest you Google him rather quickly. If you are into old school R&B, Anthony Hamilton is what you want to listen to right now. He's really, really good. He's got a very unique voice, and he'll make you feel great, he'll make you feel sad, but he will always make you feel. So, there's that. So, without further ado, as you can see right now, what I have is a bunch of character drawings. Hi Kim, how you doing? And these character drawings that I'm doing are going to be for Go Comics. They are putting together a brand new website that should be launched relatively soon. And in conjunction with all of that launchingness, all of the graphics are going to change too. So if anybody wants to go, I will make an announcement somewhere down the line when the Go Comics new website goes live. But all these great graphics will be there. Not that Go Comics isn't great now, because it is. It's a one-stop shop for all things comics. You can get your daily fix on everything right there. So, yes. So what I'm doing is these drawings are the graphics that will go with the cast of characters, obviously. Hi, Rob. So there's me, there's Les, my beautiful wife, Lauren, my beautiful daughter, Lucy, my crazy Jack Russell, Maggie, my crazy pug, and up here in the corner is Buster, my crazy beagle. Now that drawing, Buster in particular, is not really to scale. He is much larger than that. He is what I like to call a thieving bastard when it comes to food. If he sees it on the floor, he will eat it, even if it isn't his. I don't know, maybe he wasn't raised right, I don't know. I'm not judging, but he is a thieving bastard when it comes to food. So, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start inking a few things here and there. And if anybody who's joined has any questions, just type them out, and if I see them, I will see them, I will answer them. Welcome, John. I'm still trying to get used to the fact that this is live. It's like my own little TV show. It's really cool, and I was just thinking about it earlier today, how cool it would be if artists throughout the millennia had this capability. I mean, how interesting would that be? Being able to Rembrandt live, or Da Vinci live, or Charles Schultz live, or something like that. I mean, not that they would do any of that. Maybe they just wouldn't want to have anything to do with it, but I think it's kind of cool. Weird, but cool. Yeah, I know, Kim. I didn't draw Bob on here because I don't know why I didn't draw Bob on here. Maybe because I got kind of sick of drawing him here. This is the Sunday panel that I'm working on as well, and maybe it just completely slipped my mind. But since you pointed that out, which very good eye, by the way, why don't I just draw him really quickly right here? Again, not to scale, because I'm going to be drawing him pretty big, and if you know anything about the comic strips, with which if you're all here you probably do, I never draw Bob bigger than my head in the comic strip. That's my little scale trick that I keep going to myself, is that Bob will never be taller than the top of my forehead to the bottom of my chin. No, no. No, no, John. Nope, 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 nope. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I did those strips weeks ago, and sometimes it's kind of difficult for me to remember what I did. Weird, I know. But, yeah, that's right. Wow, they did have a little standoff of sorts, didn't they? Eventually, I think Bob got down the hallway. So, let me just draw Bob real quick here. Just a real simple... I'm here, I'm Bob, I'm loud, I'm a squirrel, I'm nuts, I'm proud. Hi Mike, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Hey Lise, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. You know, maybe next week, if I get a little bit more prepared, I will have a live band or something. When in fact, it might just be me strumming the guitar real quick before I start drawing. Hi Jen, how you doing? Oh, sorry, that was me just bumping the entire TV studio. So, there's Bob. Let me quickly just ink him up. I could probably do it with my eyes closed. In fact, you guys can't see my eyes, so I could have said that my eyes were closed and did it, and you guys would have been really impressed. Now, eventually, what I'm going to do is, once these are all inked, I'll scan them in and I'll color them up and send them off to Go Comics. And the internet gurus over there will take them and put them where they need to go. So again, if you're just joining us, these drawings that I'm doing here are for Go Comics. They're for the Cast of Characters page that's eventually going to be up. Right now they're still working on their beta. It's in the testing phase, which is where they do all the testing. Eventually it will go live and be their main site. Not to say that the Go Comics site now isn't spectacular, it is, but it'll just be a little bit more prettier, because there will be a lot more custom graphics, not only for me, but for every artist that is involved with Go Comics who chooses to do custom graphics. It is pretty good. Very pretty. Very, very user-friendly. Hey Dean, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So, in addition to doing this stuff, I've started working on strips for 2017, and it's always kind of surreal to be working on next year's stuff the previous year. Like I said, I've had 15 years experience now doing this. Well, 14, and it never is not weird. You know, it's a double negative. I always complain. I always tell Lauren, don't use double negatives, and here I go, saying as I do and doing as I not say. Hey Brian, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Teresa, how you doing? So there's that. Maybe let me just ink up this ugly guy right here. I don't know if you can hear it, but in the background I have Anthony Hamilton playing. Last week I had Hootie and the Blowfish playing. This week I have Anthony Hamilton playing. Excellent R&B music. Very relaxing. And I don't always necessarily listen to music when I draw. Sometimes, most of the times, believe it or not, I really like to watch or listen to old British sitcoms, Britcoms they call them. Lately, I've been going through this old series called On the Buses, which is about a bunch of bus drivers. Yes, it actually is funnier and more interesting than I just described it. Davey, I am using a brush pen a Pilot brush pen that I picked up at jetpens.com. I love their stuff. Yeah, maybe I will, Luis, but it's kind of hard to play guitar and draw at the same time. I mean, if I could do that, then I'd be making a hell of a lot more money than I am. And I'd probably go on America's Got Talent. This isn't the only pen that I use. It's just a kind of a quick and dirty thing that I use for just drawings like this. Not that I don't care about these drawings, but sometimes when I do my strips, I use Crow Quill and a series of other pens to do all the little details and doodads. But for the purposes of this tonight, I'm just basically going to be using this and maybe later some Sharpie. I never really liked using brush pens, and I resisted them for the longest time because I didn't think that I had as much control with these as I would, say, a Crow Quill. I mean, I was a late adopter, I have to say, but they have really grown on me, and the versatility of them is unmatched. Plus, you don't have to lug around a bottle of ink with you, so that's also a significant plus. Less mess. I mean, you can just throw it right in your pocket, and you can get as much of a variety of line with these as you can with a Crow Quill. It does. Plus, another beautiful thing about this is that it dries reasonably quick. So you don't have one of those accidents where the side of your palm will rub up against it and you'll have modern art all of a sudden. So now, if I can find them, oh, look, there's a cloud. Yes, very organized. Oh, look, another cloud. It's always a cloudy day around here. So now I use this pen, the Precise, also Pilot. Pilot makes some good stuff, I gotta say. And I will go in and just do some detail work. Like, I'm wearing a sweater, at least, well, now I am. So I will put in some lines like this, with a little bit of hatching. And these pens you can pretty much get at any drugstore. Pretty easy to find, pretty common. And then I'll go in the shirt and I will make it a plaid shirt. And just like that, we have texture in the clothing. And because it always looks like I have a 5 o'clock shadow, even at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm just going to put in a little stubble there. So now we're done with that. Go to this guy, Sharpie, trusty friend, always there for you. And use a Sharpie to lay in the dark areas. And there's that. Let me go back to Bob real quick. I'll come back to the Precise. And we'll just add, because Bob likes to do it all natural, pretty much naked all the time. Although when it's cold out, he'll put a scarf on, possibly a hat. I've been known to draw him with earmuffs once or twice, but he's not a fan of those because it makes his ears sweat. So I'm just going to use the Precise to add a little bit of shadow, giving him a slight bit of depth, even though he is completely and utterly one shallow squirrel, like that. And then he's done. And now I see my lovely wife has joined, so she's watching right now, and hopefully the volume is up so she can hear it. I will draw her. I will ink her. Now, the real Les has had numerous hairstyles over our history. I have had one. She has had several different shades of hair color. I have had two, brown and gray. And the thing is that She's so damn beautiful. I'm probably never going to be able to draw her the way she should be drawn. And I would say that even if she wasn't watching right now. Yeah, I thought about that too, John. And I am very, very resistant to change. I really like oval frames. Not only because they kind of suit my face, but I really don't want to go back and change all the glasses on 15 years of comic strips. Hey Steve, how you doing? What's the weather like in London right now? Chris, thanks for joining. How you doing? It's funny, Steve, I was just talking about me watching Britcoms or listening to Britcoms while I draw. And we have a Brit joining. That's awesome. Welcome. Dave, how you doing? Cloudy, wet, and cold. A typical night in London. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but at the same time I'm not, because at least it's typical and not atypical. Silver lining, right? Well, let me move on to Lauren. Now here's a hairstyle that's definitely changed. Lauren is a very interesting story in that when I introduced her in the comic strip, she was about 5 years old. And because she was so cute as a 5-year-old, I decided to keep her a 5-year-old in the comic strip, even though, obviously, the real Lauren was not going to be 5 for very long. Usually it only lasts about a year. So, again, I resisted aging her in the comic strip until one day I just couldn't not do it. Life goes on, and I couldn't continue to write for a 5-year-old when we have an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old. So, yes, the dad in me had to give up and give in and accept the inevitable, begrudgingly, but the comeback from that is that she's developing into a mature, well-rounded, wonderful young lady. And I know she's not watching, so I can say that. And if she were watching, she probably wouldn't be watching for long because her eyes would be rolling because of all the goofy and what's the word I'm looking for? Not goofy, not mushy. Okay, mushy stuff. Dad's saying so. Oh, okay, she is watching. So rewind this video later, Lauren, and listen to all the bad stuff I've been saying about you. See, isn't modern technology great? My whole family is watching, and they're not even here. I'll have to thank my Verizon guy for this later, bringing my whole family together. Now all we have to do is get phones for the dogs, and they can watch too. Susan, welcome. Hey Lauren, if you're still with us and watching, I'm listening to Anthony Hamilton right now. Thought you might get a kick out of that. I don't know. My dogs are pretty smart, Dave. They'll figure it out. She's gone, Lauren. No, I mean, she's still here, but that's the song I'm listening to. She's gone. Let me finish Lucy real quick. See? You see that? See what Lauren just said? She says her ears look a little big in this picture. Well, all I can tell you, kiddo, is squint. If you squint, they get smaller. If anything, I thought you were going to complain about your nose being too big. Yeah, she's a regular Phyllis Diller, Lauren. And probably only about a third of you would understand that reference. I know Lauren wouldn't. Gotta Google Phyllis Diller, Lauren. So let's move on to Maggie real quick. And what time do we have right now? Oh, wow. I've been doing this for half an hour. Interesting, almost. Now, if we had smell-o-vision for comics, Maggie would be unique. Because she is ugly as sin, but she's as cute as can be, and she smells like, oh, what's the word I'm looking, what's the smell? How can I accurately describe in words the funk that is Maggie? Maggie smells like 3-day-old gym socks filled with Fritos. And not chili Fritos. I mean, just regular, ordinary corn chips. Because if she smelled like chili Fritos, again, we'd have to go on the road because that's a unique talent. Not a lot of people can smell like chili Fritos. Well, not a lot of little pugs can smell like chili Fritos either. Whenever I draw Maggie's face like this, I always think of something that Leslie's mom once said, that looking at, because Maggie has such a black face and her teeth are so white that they stick right out. And she said, Planet of the Apes. Maggie's face looks like one of the gorilla guards from Planet of the Apes. And she's right. I mean, she's got that really black face and that protruding jaw with teeth that are so messed up. Again, ugly as sin, but the most cutest dog you'll ever see. One of the worst smelling dogs you'll ever smell, but one of the cutest dogs you'll ever see. Planet of the Apes. We should have renamed her Caesar. And jealous. Whoa, this dog is so jealous. You pet one, she's right there. Pugs are very, very possessive. Must be some sort of Napoleonic thing. Like they're overcompensating for just their smushed faces. I don't know. Weird. Dave, I just saw that. We're not talking about teen boys now. Lauren and I have an agreement. And I'm not going to go into it. But she knows that agreement. If she's still watching, you know that agreement. Popcorn with rancid butter. Lovely. And Maggie's tail is, when she's happy, she's got a curled tail. When she's sleeping, it's flat. When she's mad, it's flat. So, catch her when her tail is curled. All right, well, I'm about ready to call it a show. I want to thank everybody for swinging by and checking this out and listening to me talk to my wife and my kid, and they're watching in the virtual world somewhere. So, again, thank you so much. Where's Bob? Bob, thanks you so much. And our very special guest, Puppet Carl Sagan, billions and billions, thanks you for stopping by too. So I will see you all next Tuesday. Take care.